Hello, everyone, and welcome to something much different than anything I have produced up to this point. What you are about to watch, listen to, preferably listen to, is a short story that I have written a long time ago, we'll say that. But I've never produced it for one reason or another. So, while you can see me right now, just know that this is meant to be an audio experience. So, probably better to listen with headphones and to just ignore this right here. So, with nothing further, I present to you Hallway, a short story. You awaken to find yourself standing alone in the middle of a crowded hallway. Or rather, you do not awaken so much as you gain consciousness standing alone in the middle of a crowded hallway. You are alone in the sense that you are the only person in this hallway, yet it is crowded in the sense that it seems to be filled with salmon. All alive, all performing their usual out-of-water salmon-based tasks. None of them appear to be suffering. They all seem perfectly happy, lying on the ground and flopping around with no water. You look up and down the hall to find them covering nearly every inch of the floor. However, they do not overlap. They do not pile on top of each other. That would, of course, be very rude. And these seem to be very considerate aquatic beings. You pay only a slight mind to them. You begin questioning yourself. How did you come to be in this hallway? Where is this hallway located, you ask yourself. Why the air-breathing salmon, you do not ask. You find yourself strangely uncaring of them. You remember everything you believe about your life. You remember your name, your family, your place of business, your home. You even remember things that you know you should have forgotten, such as your birth. You remember being born. You remember every aspect of your life. But do you really? Could these memories be false? Placed there like you yourself was placed into this hallway? So many questions. No one to give answers. Plenty of other beings, to be sure, lying on the ground, flopping, but no one who speaks your language. You look about yourself. The hallway seems normal enough, 5, maybe 6 feet wide, windowless, with brown and white striped wallpaper. A carpeted floor lay beneath you and your other wriggling occupants. At one end, seemingly far away, you find a door, wooden, painted white, with what appears to be a possibly gold knob. At the other end, seemingly far away, you find nothing. The hallway seems to go on and on into oblivion, into blackness. You find yourself not wanting to look too long into the abyss that is that end of the hallway. You strain to think of how. How had you come to be in this hallway? What were you doing beforehand? You remember every excruciating detail of your life to an impossible degree. You remember the taste of a bacon, egg, and cheese bagel that you had eaten in a small-town coffee shop 3 years ago with one of your friends. You remember everything with that detail. But the events that led you to your current position seem lost in a blackness similar to that of what lies at one end of the crowded hallway in which you currently stand. Eventually, you decide with a heavy, defeated sigh to do the only thing that seems even remotely logical. You walk. You walk toward the door, seemingly the only exit from the confusion and endlessness. If you were to walk toward the blackness, you feel certain that you would walk forever and not find the other end. You were careful not to step on the salmon. They haven't stepped on you yet, so why would you tread upon them? Doesn't quite seem fair. As you walk, the door gets closer, obviously. Things always get closer as you approach them. However, this time it seems off. Like, it's not getting closer at the rate that it should be. After a lifetime of approaching and leaving things at various speeds, you realize that it doesn't seem quite right. You are unsure of whether it is getting closer slightly too fast or slightly too slowly, but it definitely is off. As this captures your attention, it also takes captive of your full focus, and as you slowly focus less on the rate of your movement and the rate of the door coming closer, you begin to feel as though something is watching you. Well, of course you have eyes on you. Hundreds, in fact. The dumb eyes of the scaly inhabitants laying about the floor like a second carpet. But this one feels different somehow. More sentient. Malicious. You want to look over your shoulder and begin to do just that when a thought strikes you. What if looking at it makes it attack? You have nothing to defend yourself with, and salmon seldom make good weapons. So you cease your head's movement and continue walking, if somewhat faster, toward the door. Toward, you hope, the safety behind it. Truth be told, you have no idea what's behind it. It could be several of the malicious presences just waiting for some poor soul to open their door so they can attack. It, however, is the only option now. You become less careful of the salmon at your feet as you walk faster toward the door. You'll step on a tail here and there as the door gets closer. It does get closer at a quicker rate, but still not at the proper one. However, you don't focus on this. You are too nervous. You walk. As you walk, you somehow sense that whatever it is behind you has noticed your quickened pace. That you know it's there and that it may be losing its opportunity to strike. You sense it beginning to follow you. Your worry becomes fright as you quicken your pace again, no longer regarding the fish. You step on bodies and heads as you try to escape. You break into a run as your fright becomes full-on panic. You hear, or possibly only think you hear, a deep roar behind you as you run faster and faster. You hear no footsteps behind you, but you know that whatever presence, whatever creature it is behind you is coming closer. You keep running at a grueling speed, faster than you thought you would be able to go. You step on the salmon and feel your feet slip. Yet you do not fall. You'll slide backward and yet keep running. You keep moving forward at the same rate even as you know you should be falling on the floor. The door grows very close as you begin to feel hot. Finally, with one last bound, you reach the door, white with a possibly gold knob. You feel the hot, inhuman breath of whatever it is behind you as you turn the possibly gold knob. Thank God it's unlocked, you think, and swing the door open with all of your might and jump through it just before you are certain your life came to a drastic and horrifying end. And as you leap into the unknown space beyond the white door with the possibly gold knob, you awaken to find yourself standing alone in the middle of a crowded hallway. Thank you. I don't really know what to say here. This is a project that I had written years ago, and it was very heavily inspired by the podcast Welcome to Night Vale. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's great. I love it. I had never actually done anything with this, mainly because I really wanted artwork for it. You know what I mean? And I am not much in terms of, like, drawing-based art. I would love to see something like this with actual images of this hallway, because I've just been wanting to do this for so long. And I have asked around at a couple of people, but nothing concrete ever came forward. So I decided that I was just going to produce this as it is. And here you are, hopefully watching and enjoying it. I want to do more stuff like this I really do, because with my new storyline and all of the crazy crap that I've been working on for it, but yeah, I thank you guys so much for watching, so much for being a part of everything that I do. It really, really does mean the world. And um, videos might be a little touch and go for a while, a little sparse, as I'm working on, let's call it, myself and my marriage. Marriage is a lot of work, and it should never not be a lot of work. Both parties should put in time and effort and love above all else. And unfortunately, sometimes this gets in the way of that. So while I'm going to try to be regular, it might not always be easy. So, again, I thank you guys so much for everything that you do for me. Um, and I look forward to what the future has for us. Later.